The advantage he has, he's been around that program for 3 years now. And he's played in some big games before. It's the first time he's really been the starter in a game of this magnitude. But, you know, we're going to find out if E.J. Manuel's for real. We'll find out if Florida State's deserving of that #5 national ranking. 2 great games tonight. You have Miami and Ohio State on ESPN as well.
Brijo with the pitch. And not much there for Anthony Barr. Kenny Vaccaro tripped him up after a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Every time you have the feeling that UCLA can sneak back into this game, Texas offense has responded, in part to some mistakes by UCLA.
No question the Bruins defense has had chances to make plays, but it's still 8 possessions and 6 touchdowns for Texas. Third down and long upcoming for UCLA as Keenan Robinson shuts down Jonathan Franklin, and that should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you're down 22 going into the 4th quarter. It's time where you're just going to have to live and die with throwing that ball, even if it's not the style that Rick Neuheisel wants.
A 3-possession lead for Texas as we end the 3rd quarter. Rick Neuheisel's team, unfortunately for Bruin fans, they traded touchdowns with Texas in the 3rd quarter. Not good enough, though. DJ Grant with 3 touchdowns today. Derek Coleman tried to answer. Then it was Fozzie Whitaker stretching the lead to 22 once again. The Horns in control. Back in Pasadena. You know, in so many of the pro sports, it's all about building new buildings. In college football, though, these old cathedrals, there's a lot of tradition. And this is one of those as we are at the Rose Bowl, start of the 4th quarter. Texas and UCLA. The Rose Bowl, Notre Dame Stadium, the big house in Michigan, on and on.
Here they come.
And here comes the blitz. Brijo stands in, up the seam, can't get a completion. Crowd wants a flag. Rosario thought he was interfered with as well. And no flag comes out as Cameron Bindum was there in coverage. Well, it's not a game, as we mentioned, where UCLA has not had their opportunities, but you probably have to overall give Texas a lot of credit. 14 points per quarter. They've been very efficient. Yeah,
and what jumps out at me, a great job by Texas offensive coaching staff of putting players in a position where they can do what they do best and be successful. You think of all the little different things Brian Harsin has done personnel-wise today. Jackson Shipley throwing a pass, Fozzie Whitaker at Wildcat quarterback. So many different things to take advantage of guys' skills.
Just that close, UCLA, to keeping it out of the end zone, but they can't do it. It's a touchback, and it's September. Things are going to heat up in the city of Miami. Charlie's got 3 new Angels, and they're taking down the criminals who are above the law. From executive producer Drew Barrymore, ABC's Charlie's Angels, all new Thursdays this fall on ABC. Case McCoy and David Ash as a combination have been very, very efficient and very impressive today. And for the most part, it has been McCoy. Every now and then, Brian Harsin has dialed up a throw for David Ash. Malcolm Brown, true freshman running back, also closing in on 100 yards. As we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, and more than anything else, Coach, it probably is, with a very young offense for Texas, the efficiency of their execution.
Yeah, I mean, we have to mention 0 turnovers on offense. Texas 1 turnover on a punt return, muff punt return by Shipley. 15 for 18 passing, 3 touchdowns, with 2 quarterbacks that have never started a game before.
Brown again. Lost the football. Inside the 30-yard line. UCLA's got it. Dietrich Riley knocked it free. Well, a quick strike by UCLA here, and it would be early 4th quarter still, and it would be a 2-possession game.
Yeah, and it's taken longer than I thought. But when you play those young freshmen, ball security is always an issue. But I give credit right there to UCLA. That was pretty good security by Malcolm Brown, positioning where he had that ball. That was just a great hit by Riley right there to knock that thing out.
Rick Neuheisel said that Dietrich Riley has Troy Polamalu type skill. And that was a Troy Polamalu kind of play to come up and try and change momentum. And now UCLA needs to attack quickly.
Let's see if UCLA goes play action right now, gets this thing up top to Rosario, the big tall receiver.
There's the play action. Brijo wanted to go up top, nothing there, and now he runs for his life and goes down. Emmanuel Acho gets the sack. It's a loss of 1.5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Yeah, big problem UCLA has, I think, speed at wide receiver. They have some big, tall, good-looking wide receivers, but not great acceleration down the field. Rosario, about 6'4", maybe the catch of the year so far in all of college football that first week against Houston.
Straight shotgun this time for Brijo. Jordan James on the end around, maybe 3 or 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and long. Keenan Robinson is on the watch list for the Butkus, Bednarik, Nagurski, and Lombardi Awards. Track down Jordan James.
Yeah, these 3 linebackers from Texas, Acho, Keenan Robinson, and then Jordan Hicks, the young sophomore. They are very talented at the linebacker position. Remember Sam Acho, Hicks, the #1 linebacker in all of high school football out of Ohio. Surprised a lot of people and came to Texas. They're a young, talented defense without any question.
3rd down and 9. 2-down territory, certainly for UCLA. Tipped ball, and it falls incomplete. 4th down and 9 as Blake Gideon, the senior leader of that Texas secondary, got the tip. He got a deflection earlier on the Adrian Phillips interception as well. Now it's 4th down, and UCLA is compelled to go for it.
UCLA efficiency improvement in the passing game is going to be the key for them, to me. If offensively they can really be good this year. They can run it pretty good. Can they be efficient passing will be the question.
Here comes the blitz again. Brijo up the seam, and he's got the 4th down conversion. The catch is made, the ball jarred free. They're going to rule that, I believe, Foria with a completion and a fumble as Adrian Phillips knocked it free, and it's recovered by Texas.
I'm not sure he had possession of that. They'll take another look at that. Fourier, the big tight end, 6'8" up the seam. Not sure he had possession of that long enough. You're going to see the big tight end right here. Texas in a 2-deep zone. He's going to split those safeties. That's very close. Now in the NFL, that is not a completion. College football.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, UCLA is hoping that the play stands as called, because even though it is a fumble recovery by Texas, Texas either ends up with the football inside their own 5-yard line at the 3, or they'll be back out close to the 30-yard line. It's a 25-yard difference in field position on this call. But I agree with you. I don't know that you would say that he completed the catch fully before the ball was popped out. Now, again, the call on the field was a completion, so it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the precedent that was set on the field.
UCLA with so many opportunities to make just individual plays in this game, whether it's been a dropped pass, a batted drop interception. There's been a lot of individual plays they'd love to have back.
And if Joseph Fourier could have held on to that one, it would have been 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. So either way, it's Texas football. It just depends on where they'll spot the football, whether it's at the 3-yard line or out close to the 30.
After further video review, the play stands as called.
So they will rule it a completion and a fumble recovered by Texas, and the Longhorns have it at their own 3-yard line. And the fumble turns out to not cost Texas as Malcolm Brown puts it on the ground, but UCLA can't convert.
Now they've got the big tailback in there. Cody Johnson, 260-pounder back there.
And Cody Johnson gives Texas a little bit of breathing room out to about the 7-yard line, a gain of 4. Eric Kendricks made the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, just visiting with Mac Brown this week. Both of us just talking about having fun again. You know, it had gotten to Texas where he just wasn't having fun last year. It was kind of thinking whatever can go wrong will go wrong. It's been energized by these new coaches and these new players at Texas this year.
Another true freshman that time, Joe Bergeron, on the carry as we check in with Samantha.
Yeah, guys, no signs of life on this UCLA sideline right now. In the last timeout, Coach Neuheisel gathered the entire team together at midfield. When they came out of that speech, nobody was fired up. I don't think it was a rah-rah speech, guys. Right now, Sean Westgate is the guy that's trying to pump everybody up. But don't interpret that to mean that they're not supportive of their coach. I talked to these guys all week, Sean included, and he said that he knows this coach cares about him. They just have to make things happen on the field, and that's what they can't get done right now.
Well, here's a chance for a 3rd down stop on 3rd and 6. McCoy in the shotgun, flags down at the snap. It's a low throw, almost intercepted. UCLA thinks they scooped it up, and they'll say that the football hit the ground. Patrick Larimore almost picked off on the deflection case McCoy.
This is the 3rd offsides on UCLA that I can remember today. I mean, they just flat lined up in the neutral zone.
Offside, defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, it's not a 1st down yet, as it's still 3rd down and 1, so still a chance for UCLA's defense to get off the field. But boy, they have been woeful today trying to get stops on 3rd down. Texas is 9 for 11 on 3rd down.
Still 3rd down.
And they'll go with Cody Johnson again at tailback. Cody Johnson this time looks to be short. And certainly by the spot that both officials look like they agree upon, he's short of the 1st down line to make. Donovan Carter and Cassius Marsh combine on the stop. And Cody Johnson is short. It'll be 4th down, and here comes the punting unit.
Really hard to block punts against this rugby-style shield punt that Texas uses. UCLA with 2 returners back, because in rugby-style punts they usually spray that ball around and you don't want it to roll on the ground.
Wobbly kick, fair catch called for, and made at the UCLA 41-yard line by Shaq Evans. 47-yard punt, and Texas still in control. Over 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Aerial coverage here at the Rose Bowl provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for superior performance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
We both grew up back in the Northeast. You look at this blimp shot, it reminds you back in November and December, back in those gray, cold days, watching that UCLA-USC game every year.
Or the Rose Bowl itself, as Jonathan Franklin picks up maybe a half yard. That's Bob Davey. I'm Bob Wischusen. Samantha Steele with us here as well. And the story of this game developed early. Kevin Prince started 3 interceptions in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, just really a poor performance by Kevin Prince. Back from injury at quarterback with 3 interceptions, and then this latest turnover here by Faurier, but 4 turnovers. That's the story of this game, along with some silly penalties by UCLA.
Rosario picks up 5 as we check in with Robert Flores.
All right, Bob, AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Clemson snapping
Auburn's 17-game winning streak. Taj Boyd, a big reason why. 371 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win. You can text 55862 to vote and for a chance at a trip